back to the Live Lounge at Open Banking Expo UK and Europe 2025. And I'm really pleased to be joined by two guests on the sofa today. So we have with us Adam Ball, who is Chief Commercial Officer at Prompt, and Marcus Rogers, Partner Manager at Token, here to talk all about Prompt's pay-by-bank solution and how Token's A2A infrastructure is supporting all of that. So welcome, both of you. Perhaps you can give us
Thank you.
A bit more detail about your roles. Let's start with you, Adam.
Start with me. Thank you. So I'm Adam Ball. As you say, Chief Commercial Officer at Prompt. Really good to come and talk to you here today. And of course, to sit alongside our partner, Token. So just a bit of background on Prompt. We're a pay-by-link payment request company. We've been around since 2017. And what we generally do is help large merchants deal with their remote customers. So
Right.
a luxury retailer will use Prompt to send links out to get paid for high-value goods. And we do that across automotive, luxury retail, building supplies, many different sectors. But what we did about 3.5 years ago was to partner with Token and to build open banking into that journey.
Yeah.
And that's really made a big difference to Prompt and the value that we bring to our customers. So really happy to talk about it here today.
Yeah, great. We'll find out a lot more about that. And Marcus, tell us a bit about your role and Token.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, great to be here. Thank you. So I'm Marcus Rogers. I'm a partner manager here at Token. So I've been with the company since January of this year. And what we do at Token is we are one of the leading account-to-account providers providing payment infrastructure. So as Adam said, they've been working for around 3.5 years together, powering Prompt's request-to-pay solution behind the scenes. So we work with payment companies, PSPs, gateways, and tier 1 banks as well.
Yeah, and of course, Token is our headline partner. So great to have you and the team out in force over the next couple of days at the Expo as well.
Absolutely. You can't escape us at the conference.
It's true. Well, look, Marcus, I'm going to stick with you. Can you tell us a little bit more about how Token's A2A payments infrastructure kind of supports or underpins, should we say, Prompt's pay-by-bank service then?
Yeah, of course. I think that's the key word, right? Underpins. So you can think of us kind of as like invisible plumbing behind the scenes. So we provide the infrastructure, so the bank connectivity, which Prompt leverages and then really builds upon, as well as the payment journey. So we work across with Prompt the UK and Ireland and providing bank connectivity to around 99% of customer accounts. And that enables Prompt to really offer pay-by-bank and Token solution as a really seamless checkout alternative to those traditional payment methods like cards, right? So giving consumers choice.
Yeah.
We also host and build the payment journey. So once a user goes through the Prompt request to pay link solution, they will land on Token's payment screens. So really just providing the mechanism for Prompt to build on.
Yeah, all about invisible plumbing, as you say.
Exactly.
That can be a good thing.
Yeah.
We don't call ourselves invisible plumbing in the same way, but we take a similar role. It's really important that the payment mechanism takes a back seat to the end-to-end customer journey. Because if you're asking a customer to transfer 10,000, 20,000, maybe for a car or for luxury goods, the customer needs to know that they're engaged with the card dealership, with the watch dealer or whatever, and not to be bombarded with, who are Prompt, who are Token. So what we enable our merchants to do is just deliver a good end-to-end journey that gives the customer the confidence to click and pay quickly.
And so what did you see in Token that made them the right infrastructure partner for Prompt?
Well, we've been working and talking to Token since about 2019, actually. And just keeping a close eye on it because we knew that open banking was coming and that it was going to be something really, really important. But of course, the market conditions have to be right. And really, what changed, I think, it was in 2022 when there was just a bit of a groundswell of interest and support in open banking. And that meant that we were in a good position at that time to move forward with open banking. We'd done the groundwork, we'd put the agreements in place, and we very, very quickly implemented. And I think that was, the main benefit and the main attraction of working with Token was that they were very responsive, really understood our business and what we wanted to achieve, and enabled us to get live extremely quickly.
Well, to set the scene in a little bit more detail then, tell us a little bit about some of the sectors, Marcus, that have been these early adopters of pay-by-bank.
Yeah, of course. So Adam talked about some of the areas that Prompt really specialise in, and I'll come on to that in a moment. I think it makes sense to really start with PSD2, so back in 2018, and the mandating of that to allow regulator partners access to banks for their payments and data requirements. Understandably, we've seen a lot of growth driven across financial services market, so driven by tier one banks, especially in the UK. We are really the market leader in account-to-account payments across Europe. And I think a really good statistic that contextualizes that is 1 in 3 UK adults are now using open banking on a regular basis. So across the payment solutions, but also across the data piece. So I think with that as the background, we can see a couple of use cases. So we have things like request to pay and payment links, but we also have adoption for account top-ups. So whether that's native journeys in banking applications or other financial service use cases like crypto or gaming, these are industries that have been driving the early adoption forwards to allow open banking to top up virtual wallets. And I think the other really compelling use case we've seen here is around credit card payments, bill payments, and using open banking and account-to-account payments as the mechanism for that. I think just to round off the point then, especially through Prompt's perspective, you made a really interesting point there around customers trusting the journey essentially, especially for those higher transaction deals, whether that's automobiles, hospitality, luxury, right? And so I think open banking provides that real facility. It's a trusted payment method. It's authenticated by the user, and that really allows that seamless experience to be carried out, whether that's in-app or at point of sale.
I guess that's the thing. Most payments we don't really think about, but those high value ones we tend to, right?
You talked about PSD2 2018 and setting the scene for new ways to pay. I mean, regulation like that, mandates really help to try and move things forward sometimes. It's great to talk about innovation, but really just getting those kind of mandates in place, like when we delivered faster payments back in 2008. The real-time interbank payment system that we have today has really only just been matched by pan-European SEPA payments last week. So there's been quite a head start really in the UK, and what open banking does is just enable those faster payments to be delivered more smoothly. So that delivered huge change for us. The fact that open banking is mandated, not just in the UK but across Europe, is also going to be another huge driver for growth here. In that we can expect, if we deliver good experiences for customers, we can expect significant uptake. Really, the job, I suppose, is to make open banking seem quite mundane to customers, so that they're not thinking about it. And if you were to ask somebody in 2 or 3 years' time, I think you said something like 1/3 of customers have done an open banking transaction at the moment. The majority of people will have done this in 2 or 3 years' time. But if I was to ask them, what do you think about open banking? They really won't know what I'm talking about. So I think we need to get to that point. And we're already seeing this, that customers are just adopting this quite naturally. We're working across so many different sectors. We really pick up a lot of good intel and good knowledge about usability. And customers are, the way we describe it is they're following their nose. If we present them with a secure way to pay, and it feels secure and it's got biometrics and it leads them through a bank-based journey, customers are paying some very, very large sums indeed.
So, Adam, Prompt talks about moving beyond the old kind of pay by bank versus cards debate. So tell us, what does that mean in practice, and how does that mindset shape your vision for the future of payments?
Well, we've always said that card and bank work well together. It's a really important part of what we do. Now, of course, naturally, that came out of the fact that we partner with a lot of card providers. So we approached the introduction of open banking quite cautiously. And, we're not here to kill cards. We're not here to try and, disrupt your business. We were really quite cautious. But really what we found is, that actually made perfect sense. In that, as a business, your number one priority is to get paid. Your second priority is to get paid through the most cost-effective and operationally efficient channel. So really what we do when we bring open banking to a merchant, if they were to say to us, you know what, I don't need card, we would always encourage them to do both. And that means we can deal with the smaller transaction types with card. We can help change behavior and move people towards open banking where appropriate. But you always need fallback, and you always need to give merchants the ability to say, getting the deal done is the priority here. And card is always going to be an important part of that. And in certain sectors, card is pretty dominant. So it will continue to be important in luxury retail. It will continue to be important in hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
there's room for both, basically.
there's room for both, and there's growth for both, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're seeing that.
And I know the automotive sector has been an early adopter, right? Of in terms of, it's a big part of your success story at Prompt. But I know that you're also now accelerating into hospitality and into luxury retail.
Yeah.
Why are these sectors such a natural next step then for Pay by Bank?
Well, I think we did the obvious initially. We've got a very strong base in building supplies. That and automotive have been the two most obvious sectors for us to work in. I think we work with about 5 of the top 10 building supplies groups in the UK. Mm-hmm. And open banking is such a good fit for them because they're selling high value goods. They're concerned about chargebacks, and we can also help them with getting their accounts paid off at the end of the month. Automotive, we all know that's a really, really clear and perfect use case for open banking, and we're making really good strides with that. But what we wanted to think about is, what other sectors can we make this a success in? And if you look at Prompt and our total client base, our most important sector is actually hospitality. And we're doing some really big things with individual high-end hotels, but also some really, really big groups, global groups, who are using Prompt to secure their payments built into their property management systems, operational improvement, protection from chargebacks, etc. How can we help them using our open banking capabilities? Now, on the face of it, it's not currently a good fit for hospitality because hospitality comprises lodging, food and beverage, and generally events as well. Now, lodging doesn't necessarily make sense for open banking because we don't have cross-currency, we don't have cross-border, not simple solutions anyway. So we don't go after that part of our business. We don't get involved in food and beverage. They're generally smaller transactions. But the niche that we found is in working in events, weddings, large payments that are typically domestic. Yeah. And so we've managed to find a niche in that in both the UK and Irish markets where we're working with some really big groups. And we're helping them to achieve cost savings and, the operational improvement of just getting those payments in more quickly. Yeah.
Well, that's really exciting to hear about those new sectors. Leads me on to my next question, and I'll come to you, Marcus, first. But where are we on the adoption curve in terms of A2A payments, do you think?
So it's a great question. And, Adam's closer to merchants. So Token, we work through providers. We don't work direct to merchants. So, we look at things from that industry level, but also, in partnerships with our customers to really get the most insight possible. Personally, I'm very optimistic around open banking adoption. Like we talked about 1 in 3 adults using open banking. We're almost at that tipping point into the majority, especially in the UK. Yeah. There's been a really interesting report by Gartner, the business analytics company, and they place open banking less than 2 years away from mass adoption. Wow. Really? So I think it will be sooner, especially as we move into that, POS environment, that in-person environment, away from just e-commerce and online traffic. Yeah. And I think the instant payment regulations in Europe are going to be key to that, right? Yeah. Enabling that instant settlement, which really opens the door to in-person transactions. So for me, we're very close, almost there. Just a few more initiatives to roll out, a few more use cases that we can really keep delivering on, and then open banking will start to become more and more ubiquitous across the UK and Europe. Yeah.
Well, let's finish on a call to action, because for any merchants watching this that are thinking, Pay by Bank is something I can look at later, what would you say, and we'll start with you, Adam, to kind of encourage them to act now?
I think the early adopters have done all the hard work so far. So if you're worried about being an early adopter, there's no need to be concerned about that anymore. We've achieved quite a lot with some, across multiple sectors. We've got, car supermarkets doing tens of millions a month in open banking payments. You've just got to think about the kind of cost savings they've had. It's measured in the hundreds of thousands versus, old card payments. There's enough customer confidence out there in this as a way to pay that we really should be, trying to deliver success for all of our clients, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. It's really a positive note to end on as well. Thank you, Marcus and Adam, for joining me in the live lounge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Cheers.